Chicken on a stick. Guess I'll see you in the movies.
Hello, everyone. What do you mean by go backwards?
Hello, everybody.
What are you trying to...
How do I?
You use the handle on the side.
Oh.
You've had that chair for how long? And you're just like, I don't know how to work it.
Oh, that's much better. Hi, everybody.
What a way to start. Hello, Nacho, D-Pad. How are you doing? Welcome in. Back with another episode, Chicken on the Stick. Today we're going to be talking about new horror movie, Barbarian.
My favorite horror movies. Yay.
Okay, I was just hoping she was going to be clear about her favorite.
Oh yeah, it's not my favorite.
Horror movies.
My favorite genre of movies.
Yeah. Very famously not mine. Apparently I just don't like horror movies anymore.
I guess not.
But we'll find out if that rings true with this movie. And we'll just kind of jump into it really quickly.
It does.
Here's
it has
the thing.
So much trash.
Yeah.
And still it's just like,
Which is why it seems like I hate all of them, because I think a lot of it is trash.
I still stand by the concept horror movies are like pizza. Even bad pizza is better than no pizza.
No.
No.
You can definitely ruin pizza. Are you going to eat anchovy pizza?
I have.
Yeah, but would you again? Okay, then.
It was better than no pizza.
Was it better than no pizza?
Yeah, you can flick the little anchovies off.
Yeah, but you can't flick things off in a horror movie. You can't remove parts you don't like.
Even the trashiest, stupidest horror movies I still love.
No, there are definitely horror movies that I'd never watch again.
There's only been one. There's bad
See,
pizza.
D-Pad knows there is bad pizza. It's called deep dish.
It's called deep dish.
Where it's an actual pie crust and then sauce and cheese on it. Any pizza Jello makes, yeah. Anyway, to jump into it, so this is going to be a hard one to not necessarily review, but really say much about, because the marketing did such a fantastic job in the fact that the trailer shows you, I'd be generous and say maybe like 15% of the movie. It shows you so little, I was actually shocked that everything the trailer shows is maybe the first like 30-ish minutes of the movie.
Whoever was in charge of their marketing did
very well, yes.
Also, we also want to acknowledge that you're feeling much better and that your voice is back and you can...
Does my voice sound normal? I can't tell.
Yeah, it's not as deep. It's not as deep, so glad you're feeling better and that you didn't have the brony.
It was just a cold. She doesn't trust anything. Anyway. Hey, Virus, thanks for the lurk. Well, D-Pad, we'll get to that in a minute. As we usually do, just reading the synopsis off of Google. A young woman discovers the rental home she booked is already occupied by a stranger. Against her better judgment, she decides to spend the night, but soon discovers there's a lot more to fear than just an unexpected house guest. And that is exactly the setup. That's what the trailers show you, is that our main character, played by Georgina Campbell, Tess, books an Airbnb in Detroit. And I've never booked an Airbnb, so I don't, I've, looked at places or whatever, things that have been sent to me or something. But I've never, actually thought about booking one. In my mind, I feel like you might want to know, like, look around the area or know exactly where it's located, because there's no way in hell anyone, let alone multiple people, would book this house on an Airbnb. Not unless they were duped and there's, like, photos from, like, the 70s and the neighborhood looks nice. Because when you see this neighborhood, it's literally just torn down houses, decayed, ghetto. Things are, like, burned, completely trashed, and then one normal house. In the middle, like, on the outskirts of Detroit, Michigan.
The cabin that we stayed at that one time.
That was different, though. That's on, like, privately owned land.
Oh.
It's so weird, but to me, like, if I showed up at this house and then somebody was already there and I looked around for a minute and saw, like, how shitty it would be, I'd be like, nah, you keep it. I'll figure something else out.
I wouldn't stay.
So we've got Georgina Campbell's our main character called Tess, and then we've got Bill Skarsgård playing Keith, who is the guy who also booked this Airbnb, supposedly, who's there when she shows up. And then I don't want to say anybody else who's in the movie, because there's one specific character who, while their name is on the poster, which we somehow never noticed, but he's not in
any of the previews.
He's not in he's in some of the trailers now, because I saw like a trailer this morning when watching like a YouTube video or something. But in the initial trailer that came out, he's not in it at all, so it was kind of a surprise when like that moment came up. We're like, wait, what? He's in this movie?
D-pad, I would 1,000,000% stay at an Airbnb in Salem.
Yeah, but there's a difference between like crappy and a house in the middle of a neighborhood that is unoccupied, like abandoned, completely like mostly destroyed buildings, overgrown with plants and shit, and like burned down and whatever. Totally different. Completely different from like, this house is haunted. Somebody died in this house. Oh, spooky.
I would love to stay at an Airbnb.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai. What's up, Ash?
Y'all in Cobra Kai, I swear.
Well, we don't... you'll hear the scores or see the scores eventually. I'll update Letterboxd once I'm done, obviously. I bet. How was the first week of school? Okay, well, that part's true.
People that have Airbnbs in Salem in October must make bank. They must make so much money.
Probably overcharge.
For sure.
Too much money.
That schmuck.
Well, Jay, actually, technically, if you really want to, like, figure out what my score would be, you can go on Letterboxd right now, go to my rankings of the best movies of 2022, find where I placed Barbarian, and then you'll know what its score is.
I don't even know what you scored it.
Yeah, I don't select the star score until after with movies that we do on here, but yeah. Anyway, so the premise of this movie is pretty straightforward. It seemed from
Have a good night, Jay.
From the trailers, massive. It's only 96 movies this year. It'll be more. We'll see. We'll see if I can beat the record. I think my record.
What was last year?
I don't think it was last year. It was either last year or 2019. I think is the most.
Oh, because COVID kind of. Yeah.
Because one of them's like 100 and something. Like, not too many, but whatever. Anyway. The premise of the movie seems very simple. And it felt like, through the trailers, what we were going to get was, like, she's going to get into the house, and then she's sort of going to be trapped, and, you know, things don't seem quite like they're supposed to. You know, one of those, like, typical movies where, like, you go on vacation, everything seems normal, and then all of a sudden you're in, like, a jigsaw contraption or something. And that's how it kind of plays at first. But this movie again, it's maybe like 30 minutes into it or something, takes a hard turn.
Sharp left.
Into something that was so unexpected, so different, so both strange, like you kind of don't want to look at it, but you want to look at it at the same time, that it was really like it was a very pleasant surprise. I thought this was just going to be a pretty generic girl trapped in house, tortured type sort of movie, and it's so different. I thought it was a lot different than what I was expecting.
What's really funny is that the movie that we talked about last week, I feel like I compared it to like the movie started off one way and then it ended differently, and it felt like one person was writing the story and then suddenly gave up and someone else finished it, and I hated that. But this week I kind of feel a little bit the same way, but in a good way. Like it felt like it started one way and it went a different way.
I thought that too. With Honk for Jesus last week, we quite literally said the movie felt like it was straight up comedy for the first 2/3, and then the last third tried to be more dramatic, but still have the sprinkles of comedy in it. And it didn't quite work for me in that one. Like the ending, I felt like kind of hampered what they were sort of going for, like the message. In this one, first off, I do have to say this because it actually, when I learned this, it kind of blew my mind. So writer-director for this movie is somebody named Zach Krieger, Cregger. Zach Krieger, for many of us, will know him as one of the creators of the sketch comedy group Whitest Kids You Know. So as soon as I learned that after leaving this movie, I thought that makes things make way more sense in how they, like, the twists and sort of turns that the movie kind of takes. Whitest Kids You Know is an amazing show. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I've never seen it.
But they have this great one of their probably more well-known segments was like I want to say it was like a kids commercial or something. I don't quite remember. So Civil War on drugs. But it was like these kids are having like a sleepover or something, whatever it is, and there's a mascot of grapes, and they're supposed to be getting him to like eat grapes or drink grape juice or something, but he keeps telling the kids, "I'm gonna grape you in the mouth." And eventually Christ. He chases them around and like ties them up, and like it gets very aggressive, but it's hilarious.
Jesus.
Product sales mascot. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm gonna grape you in the mouth. Yeah, fantastic. So the movie, it is a straight out horror movie, but it does, after about the 30-minute point, bring in some, I wouldn't say like a load of comedy, but it brings in a bit of comedy, as well as the actor who shows up is a very likable actor. I've liked him in everything I've ever seen him in. I always enjoy seeing him in things. He does have a background of a lot of comedies.
A lot of eccentric comedies.
Mm-hmm.
But
he always can play. He's very easy as a likable. He can always make a character likable, even though no matter how shitty they are, which is sort of the instance in this case. So the actor who comes in plays a really shitty person, which I'm sure is supposed to be like a social commentary about,
for sure,
the world currently, and like entitled, self-obsessed like actors, directors, people in Hollywood who like done really shitty things, like Harvey Weinstein, for example. Oh God.
You all right there?
Yeah. I don't want to say the actor because he's not revealed in the trailer. So it's kind of he is, if you look at a poster, it does say his name on the poster. But because I never saw him in the trailer, I was surprised when I saw him in it.
Yeah, it was one of those things that when we saw him,
you could also just like Google it, Google Barbarian, and he's listed as like one of the top.
When we saw
actors.
him, we were like, "Oh shit! Oh, didn't know he was in this." But he does bring a little bit of, I don't want to say like comedic relief because it's not like haha funny, but it's like it's.
He's supposed to be played like you're laughing at him more than with him.
Yeah.
But not laughing at him because he's haha funny.
Yeah.
Laughing at it because of the sort of the situations that the character finds himself in. Yeah. It's not Michael Myers, no. And that kind of brings me back to like my one big strange issue with this movie is similar. Oh, I wouldn't say similar to Honk for Jesus, but the movie very clearly has sort of a, I guess like a three segments technically, and it's like the setup, which is like the first 30 minutes or so, then the second part, which is where we're introduced to the secondary character, and then they do eventually meet, but then there's this weird. I mean, it's not even really weird. It makes sense within the like the story that the movie's telling. But there's a third segment that's much shorter than the first two, and sort of crammed in between the second and third act of the movie to give you a little bit of sort of history to what's being led up to in the third act. But it feels like really kind of bare bones. Like, maybe the movie is like an hour, 43 minutes or something. Maybe if they would have had 20 more minutes, they could have like elongated that segment a little bit more and actually like put more like oomph behind it, like more weight to it, other than just being like, oh, you might have a question about this thing. Well, here's how it all started. Boom. And then right back into things. Like, it enlightens you a bit in what's going on, but it's not, it almost feels like it's not super needed at the same time. Like, I think there's a part later on that happens which could have been also used to sort of reveal like the bigger story that's happening. And then you wouldn't have needed that weird little like 5-10 minute section that's just kind of shoved into the movie. Which again, I didn't mind it being there, and I kind of liked the way that they did it, but it just, I don't know, it felt so much shorter than the other ones, and then it felt sort of shoehorned in, like it had to be, somehow we have to fit it in right before this segment of the story, or else that part's not going to be explained, so where do we put it? I don't know, just put it right there.
Mm-hmm. I felt like there were some areas where I wanted a little bit more story, and there were some areas where I felt like I didn't need that much story, if that makes any sense. Like, they should have balanced it a little bit better.
Yeah. You're watching... Is it 6 episodes? Is it hour-long episodes?
There is something very important to know about this movie.
Go ahead. I've been talking.
There's an eyeball scene.
It is true. There is an eyeball scene.
There's an eyeball scene. And I went, huh.
If I had to guess, in case anybody wants to write it down because they're afraid of eyeball things, it's probably, if the movie is an hour and 43 minutes long, it's probably an hour and 40 minutes into the movie. It's like basically right at the end of the movie. Or very, very close to the end of the movie, at least.
Zero tolerance policy.
Yeah. So if you want to avoid it or close your eyes, there you go. You know, it's pretty much right at the end. So if you feel like the movie's about to end, close your eyes.
Yeah.
Although I will say that scene was pretty cool. Pretty cool. You didn't get to see it, so I also didn't tell you what ended up happening. But maybe
good. I don't want to know.
Maybe I'll tell you what happened. The movie is also...
An hour and 43 minutes.
Not... Yeah, we said that already.
Oh.
I've said that like 4 times.
I
It's
just want
not.
to keep reiterating that every movie that we watch is an hour and 40
It's not super. It does have violent moments, and some kind of bloody moments, but it's not.
It's not like outright gory.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't call it gory at all. There's maybe 1-2 scenes that I call kind of gory, but they're also not like right in your face. They're sort of shot in a way where, you're not getting the full gore, I suppose. But even though the movie's not necessarily gory or all that violent, there is some kind of gross, weird shit happening in it. some weird, gross shit that is gonna. I'm sure it's supposed to be like a. I don't know about a visceral reaction, but it's supposed to be like ugh, like a God, what?
It's repulsive.
Yeah, there you go. It's repulsive.
I think that I compared it to a couple scenes from The Hills Have Eyes.
You did say The Hills Have Eyes.
It wasn't like right up my alley. Where it wasn't like inherently gory, but it was very uncomfortable to watch.
But actually, yeah, maybe. I don't subscribe to the idea that there's outside of like a snuff film or any time in a movie where animals are actually killed. Nothing in movies really bothers me. I don't care what it is because I know it's it's a movie. Like, okay, whatever. So the moments where she's like, it's kind of repulsive, I understand, and a lot of people, general audiences, would probably feel that way because it's kind of gross. It's like, oh, that's something.
That's something.
But I'm not gonna look away or shield my eyes or anything. It's so fucking weird. It's not an attack to you. That's just how I feel. Nothing in Cannibal Holocaust bothers me except for when they pull that turtle out of the lake and...
Don't tell me anything about that. I don't want to know.
That's not very good.
I have worked very hard to avoid that movie my entire life.
Well, the rest of the movie is just some people get impaled and... Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, but animal stuff.
Yeah.
And it was real. And it was real.
Yeah, it was indeed so real.
Luckily, none of this was real.
Well, I hope none of this
is
real.
I hope none of this is real.
There is some CGI as well to the movie that looks... it looks fine. It doesn't look amazing. But I wouldn't be too surprised to find out that this movie probably didn't have, the most amazing budget. After all, it does mostly... There's probably 2 or 3 sets.
You have to agree, at least, the CGI in this movie was much better than the Kevin Hart movie with the...
With the cougar?
Yeah.
The mountain lion?
Yeah.
Well, yes, that mountain lion in Me Time was awful CGI. But I feel like this CGI might have also been mostly maybe touch-up work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know necessarily anybody who's in a mocap suit or anything, but I'd imagine maybe they were in had some sort of prosthetics or something, and they were visually enhanced. Because it doesn't look amazing at times,
but it's not the worst.
But it's also not terrible. Also, the movie, the majority of things that are happening are in darkness. Mm-hmm. Whether that's the underground tunnel system that they find in the movie, again in the trailer, so free game to talk about, or when nighttime is happening. So there's a lot of darkness in the movie, and that kind of adds to the suspense and what's around this corner sort of feeling. Again, I was very pleasantly surprised by this movie.
Very.
It was, I would very much watch it again. Mm-hmm. Maybe not in theaters, but once it comes out, I do want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Because it's just it was so unexpected. I'm trying to, I don't know. if there's another movie this year that I was so
surprised
like,
by.
I mean, I've been surprised by things like how good it was. For example, like Top Gun Maverick, I was so surprised about. But this, I was surprised in a way of like, this was not at all.
Right.
I was not expecting any of this stuff to happen. I was so surprised by it.
Exactly, Nacha. It's a rare occurrence.
Whoa. To be fair, I loved both X and Black Phone this year. I would not say...
Year's almost over. Sort of.
I also liked Scream 5.
I wasn't expecting you
I
to
liked
like this.
Nope. I didn't love Nope, but I liked Nope. So, I'll have you know, I enjoyed at least like 5 horror movies this year. Something like that. Does Morbius count as a horror movie? Because that was pretty horrible.
That was not good.
Yeah, see, first off, I absolutely love Nope, but Nope is like, I know my bias is I mean, come on. I know my bias for horror movies, okay? We've even got, hello, slasher films, My Bloody Valentine, Sleepaway Camp, X, all slasher movies. Of course I love. So, when there's a good slasher movie, and X is a fantastic slasher movie.
X is really good.
I know my biases, so whatever.
I am excited to rewatch that.
Black Phone I was not expecting to like, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
With one big issue with that movie, but not enough to like derail it or anything. This movie just, I expected something totally different.
Yeah.
It's, it's pretty rare to, especially with trailers and just sort of...
There are so many movies that give away the movie with the trailer.
Just generally marketing kind of doesn't really do any favors. And it's hard. Once upon a time, I tried not to watch trailers for things, but it's so hard when I'm on, I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube, I'm on whatever. Every other video I click on is going to be playing a trailer for something. And it's like, well, what do? Close my eyes until it's over? Wait until I can click skip, mute it, look away, come back, hope I don't see anything, whatever. I used to, when I would go to movies alone, I'd put in headphones and like watch something on YouTube or whatever. But I don't think most trailers are too bad at giving away things. I do think there are some instances where they do give way too much away. But this is the rare occurrence where I think even if you watch the trailer, you're...
Many times.
And that's the first trailer. I don't know if they release a second trailer that gives more information or not, but the very first trailer shows you next to nothing about this movie. So even if you watch it just to get like what's this movie about? So you click on it, and you're like, oh yeah, I'd like to go see that. You're going to go in and be like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
What?
It is one of those very rare occurrences where no matter how many times you watched the trailer and you just naturally assumed you knew what the movie was, that you're just kind of blindsided by what it ends up being. Which is such a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's not like the best movie ever, but
no.
And it's not.
It's not a blockbuster. It's not gonna win an Oscar.
Horror movies don't win Oscars.
I thought Nope got an award. No, not Nope. Get Out.
Oh yeah, it did. For best original screenplay, I think.
I think so.
So I take that back.
Thank you.
Generally, horror movies don't win awards. At least not like anything that's not a horror-related reward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I had fun with the movie. Again, I want to watch it again because now I know, now that I know what to expect and what it's going to be, I want to see it with,
different eyes.
Maybe there's, small, subtle things, like in the beginning or something that kind of hint towards or give away or whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to stream it. I'd like to watch it again at home and just kind of see if there are any little hints and clues that you don't pick up on, that you don't quite get. Because I bet there are.
I don't know.
But like it's.
Well,
isn't it what is it that you always say that there's
like a
red header?
Ari Aster is like a sin in this house. Okay, that guy. I will see his next movie, but I swear I hate everything he's done so far. I'll still go see it because I forget who's attached to his next movie, but it's someone really big. But man, I hate Hereditary, and boy did I hate Midsommar less than I hate Hereditary.
Love
but boy,
Midsommar.
both of them are they're just bad.
I like Midsommar.
They're all, for me, they feel like they're
Try too hard.
Sort of. I'd almost be like they're all style, and then what people think is substance.
Is he the same one that did Mother?
No, Mother was Aronofsky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, Hereditary is just so dumb. I still, to this day, I tell the story all the time in Hereditary when I went and saw it in theaters, and I brought people to go see it with me because I was like, I heard it's a super good horror movie. And then it gets to the scene where she ate like a peanut butter cookie or something at the party, and she's allergic to peanuts, so she's having an allergic reaction, and she can't breathe in the back seat while the brother's driving. So she rolls down the window to try and get air, and the brother, I forget what happens, but something like he like swerves for whatever reason, and then telephone pole just decapitates her. I laughed so loud when that happened, and everyone else in the theater was dead silent. I was like, how does nobody find that funny?
A lot of people don't find that funny.
A little kid having an allergic reaction getting decapitated is hilarious.
I hope nobody hadn't seen that yet, because now they know what happens. Spoiler alert.
Oh, spoiler alert for a movie that came out in whatever year that was, 2017 or something.
It wasn't that long ago.
Sure, yeah, it sure was.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure. And then, yeah, Midsommar,
I had to watch it twice.
Doesn't do anything for me.
I had to watch it twice. I didn't understand it the first time, and then when I watched it the second time, then I liked it.
Yeah, you like to tell me a lot that I don't understand things. Oh gosh, she's got trauma and is in an abusive relationship and blah blah blah. I don't know. Yeah, did you know Bruce Willis is dead at the end of The Sixth Sense? Actually, not even at the end. The whole time he had been dead.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I know. If you go back and watch the movie, he never opens the door. Nobody ever talks to him or replies to him. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, unbelievable. I've never seen that movie. I've never seen it.
Have you actually never seen that movie?
I've never seen it. No. I don't even remember it coming out. I just remember all of a sudden everybody was like, ooh, The Sixth Sense. Ooh.
I think I saw it in the theater.
So, spoilers.
Thank you, Nacho.
But it's also a movie that's just sort of in like the greater
you
minds of
you
people.
don't like M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan sucks.
I love M. Night Shyamalan. I will watch every movie that man puts out.
He's made like maybe 4 good movies.
I will watch every movie he does, and I will love every single one of them.
Yeah. Well,
I also like directors who their like shtick is that they.
Y'all old.
How dare you?
Her birthday's next week. Next Friday. She's gonna be a spry 21.
Yeah. A spry 21.
A spry 21 for the 14th time.
All right. That'll do.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on the movie?
I really, really enjoyed it. It was very surprising and twisty. Oh, folks. I thought it was really surprising. It was not. It didn't go the direction that I thought, which I think is always really fun in movies, to be taken in different directions. Did not appreciate the eyeball thing. Could have done without that.
I actually think the eyeball thing was pretty cool.
Couldn't tell you because I wasn't looking.
Yeah, of course not.
I still stand by the fact that they should have warnings in movies when there is an eyeball scene or a clown scene. But I thought it was really, really great. I think it's worth going to see, and all of the acting was really great. The cinematography was great. The vibe, the ambiance, everything I thought was really, really well done. Great pacing, not too long, not too short. Even though I said that I wish some parts explained something a little bit longer or some things were explained a little bit shorter, I still think that the actual time frame of the movie was nice. Yeah, I recommend going to see it and just be prepared for an eyeball scene.
Okay, what do you rate it? What do you give it?
I give it
There was before she says this, there was talk after the movie if she, similar to Honk for Jesus last week, where she gave it a 4 and I gave it a 7.
Yeah, you gave it real high.
She was wondering if our scores are going to be close or vastly different again. Or no, I think you just asked if I was thinking I liked it more or less than you.
Yeah.
So, time to find out.
Because last week, that was a big old difference.
That was probably the biggest difference so far, I think.
Yeah. I give it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out what my rating system should be. I give it 9 out of 10 Airbnb points.
Whoa, 9 out of 10. All right, you went higher than me.
That was great.
Oh, man. No, that's fine.
It loses points because of the eyeball.
A 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
It lost a whole point because of the eyeballs. Wow.
I like twist. I like being surprised.
I'm pretty sure I said last night that from the sounds of it, I was going to enjoy it more than you did.
I thought so too.
But I do not. Not by a lot, but I don't. For me, again, I think there's some, obviously, without trying to spoil anything, I think there's some structural issues with the way that the story is told, specifically this one, 10-15 minute segment that just feels poorly placed in the movie or could have been implemented in some better way, if not removed entirely, and that segment just visually told or told in an alternative way, which I think could have worked better. And then, as much as I liked the surprise actor that we didn't realize was going to be in it, his character, for me, feels a bit confused. Writing wise, I understand what they're going for with him as a character, where he's supposed to be like this sort of self-important guy, kind of caught up in this thing that's happening, that he feels like it is happening to him, but like it's gonna ruin him forever and blah blah blah, and it shouldn't be that way and yada yada whatever. And it feels like, well, he's supposed to be a shitty character, but he's played by an actor who's really likable as everything. So maybe they're trying to tell this story of a redemption thing, and it's kind of weird, and it feels like it sort of just kind of fluctuates on which way they're kind of wanting to go with it for me. And there's also another really, really small scene that just... It's for his character. It's supposed to just hammer home that he's... who he actually is as a person. And it's so small, but it was just so, I don't know, it felt abrasive compared to the rest of it.
Yeah.
To the rest of the series. Not long after he's introduced, hangs out with like a friend or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't feel like it was as nuanced as they were trying to be, I guess is the way to put it. Obviously, I love the actor, and I still think with what he was given and everything, it works. But it just felt like they were trying to... I don't know if they were actually trying to say anything, or if they were just kind of trying to be like, we don't really care. We just thought it would sort of be like a funny character to have in there. I don't know. The character just felt weird, strange to me, whether they were trying to have some sort of underlining message about it, which maybe they were, and that kind of pays off in the end, but I don't know. It felt up and down with that character. And then on one segment. So, even with all that, though, I still did enjoy it a lot because, again, it's hard to really have a movie that actually surprises me with what it's about or where it's going or what's happening. So I give it, an 8 out of 10, which is a 4 out of 5. I didn't like it a lot less than you. I just think story structure-wise, there's the one big moment that's like a weird black spot to me that should have been done away with. And then the weird way that that one character was written, I don't know if maybe with a different actor it could have played differently.
But I feel like those are small.
Yeah, I mean they're not major things. Yeah. I didn't like love the full movie. The weird CGI was also at times wasn't great, but yeah, I didn't love the movie. I kind of wish the beginning was maybe a little bit quicker, because that first segment is maybe about 30 minutes, which is a good chunk of a hour and a 40 movie. It's like a big chunk of the story, and time taken up on what amounts to very little of importance in the actual story. So
I feel like I'm always on the hunt to figure out the perfect balance of a horror movie, like something that has just the right amount of...
What's your favorite horror movie of the year so far still?
Of the year?
Yeah.
Nope was pretty good. X was really, really good. I don't know, it's a toughie.
X, Black Phone.
No. It'd probably be Black Phone.
You've also seen Black Phone twice.
I have.
So.
And a lot of Shudder movies.
A lot of that is true.
But I would say like when I watch horror movies, my whole thing is that I'm trying to like hit each like check mark box of like criteria. So I want something that it has some jump scares but not too many, and some gore but not too much, and some twists and turns but nothing too confusing. So while I didn't get to tick everything off of my checklist for this movie, I got a lot. I got jump scares. There were a couple times where I jumped in my seat. I had to close my eyes and shield my eyes a couple times. I gasped out loud because of twists and turns. And yeah, it wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. So that's every time I review a movie, which I'm gonna end up watching a Shudder movie tonight to review for tomorrow. There's a new one. That's what I'm always on. That's what I'm always on the hunt for. I want the perfect things.
I don't know what I'm gonna watch that.
Will you pull up Shudder to see what it's called? I forget what it's called. But they just released an original horror yesterday. So I'll do a review on that.
The 100 Scariest Movie Moments of All Time.
No. That one. Solemn?
I have no idea how you pronounce that.
I
guess Solemn.
I think it's Solemn.
Oh, it's a French movie. It's a French horror movie.
It's a French film. And so far it's got 4 out of 5 skulls. It's a short one though. It's only 80 some odd minutes.
84 minutes.
84 minutes long. So, I'll take a look at that tonight. But yeah, I always try to like think of the perfect horror movie. What's the perfect horror movie? And it also has to have like a little, maybe like a little sprinkle of comedy in it, maybe. So,
perfect horror movie.
It's hard to find the perfect balance for a horror movie. And that's what keeps me wanting to watch them over and over and over. So anyway, there's a new Shudder movie out.
Okay. Now, you have a big decision to make, right on the spot. Maggie, on top of having that Shudder movie she's going to do a review for tonight, for tomorrow, because her birthday is next Friday, the 16th of September, she has a big choice to make, because next week, a lot of movies are coming out.
A lot of movies are coming out next week.
First, Tuesday, we will be seeing Clerks 3. So a review for that will be out probably Wednesday. I'll say it'll be biased. I love Kevin Smith. I've enjoyed everything he's done. I haven't watched all of his movies. I've not watched Red State. I think that might be the only one. Oh, or his one that came out a few months ago that was only an NFT. I haven't seen that. Eventually, when that becomes available somewhere, I'll probably watch it.
I'm biased because my best friend is his best friend.
His Jason Mewes, yeah. So that I'm looking forward to. But for Friday's show, she has to pick between 3 movies. There's The Woman King, See How They Run, or Pearl. Or The Silent Twins. But I'm not sure if The Silent Twins will be playing anywhere out here or not.
It's probably going to come down to either The Woman King or Pearl. What?
You gotta pick.
Right here on this...
You gotta make a call.
Pearl is spoopy, right?
Yeah, that's the prequel to X.
Pearl.
There you go. Next week is going to be the prequel, to the film X, which X is currently, I think, my number 3 movie of the year.
Yeah.
I think it might be one of only 3 movies I've given a perfect score to this year.
Yeah, I think Pearl's the
So,
one.
I'm very much looking forward to Pearl.
Looking forward to Pearl very
If
much.
it's even half as good as X, it'll still be great.
I was really hoping that what's that what's it called? Darling?
That's in 2 weeks.
I
Well,
was-
Nacho, if you want, I've got a digital code.
I was really hoping that Darling movie would come out on my birthday.
Yeah, Darling's the week after on the 23rd, I think. Yeah.
That's okay. I'm very, very excited for that, and very excited for Amsterdam.
Amsterdam's like November or something. Yeah, so it's a busy week. Do you work on this weekend?
No.
No.
Training still.
I want to see Medieval at some point. I don't know if you have any interest in seeing it at all or not. So next week will be Pearl. And then also we'll have other ones, but...
Oh yeah, my birthday is literally on the Friday. I forgot that.
Your birthday is on Friday. Yeah. Which also means it'll be a slightly special stream because it will be her birthday. She can open up birthday gifts on stream. To which there's only one so far.
It's good. I'm fine with that.
That's what she says, but that's a lie.
It's not a lie.
That's a lie.
On my birthday for my birthday for...
Anyway, so that's it. If you put our scores together, it's an 8.5 out of 10. We both suggest seeing the movie. If you got a group of friends or anything who like horror movies, go out and see it in theaters. It's like I said, a lot of it takes place in darker scenes. So seeing it on the big screen in the theater, when all the lights are fully off or whatever, with little dim lights or something, really helps a lot more than if you're just sitting at home. But yeah, I'd very much suggest this movie to horror fans to really anybody. It's a shame. Literally, like, there was maybe 12, 13, less than 20.
There was not a lot of
less than 20 people in that theater besides us, for sure.
Say hi, buddy.
But we'll be back next week. Apparently Maggie's going to review some horror movie tonight. We have a lot of other movies to watch that are older movies to talk about, and then I've got to get back on the bandwagon. I haven't watched anything this week.
Really?
It felt like I was so busy, or maybe because it was a short week that everything just like went on by, and then I was sick at the beginning of it. So, I don't know.
It was an off week.
Yeah.
It was an off week, but that's okay. We'll be okay. Humble peace.
So we'll be back next week. So, thank you everyone for stopping by. Jay again for the resub. D-pad.
Yeah, fuck this week.
Yeah, this week.
And fuck the last week, too.
That sucked, basically. Oh, well.
We can start fresh next week.
Yeah.
Next week will be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, yep.
Well, yep.
Okay, so look forward to Maggie's review tomorrow for this horror movie, and then...
posting it on the Facebook.
Oh, yeah, on the Facebook, Instagram, those places is where you can see it. And outside of that... We'll see everybody next week with another horror movie. Mm-hmm. Another horror movie review.
Yeah. Yay.
So goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Game over.